I think for a period of time before I rejoined Lenny, I was doing international drum festivals all over the world. So I think I spent about a year, maybe a year or two, just doing all the stuff that I developed for myself as an educator. And then of course just, you know, doing session things and playing a variety of different things in town. And but I didn't have to be on the road with a particular artist. I developed enough stuff on my own that I could kind of begin to coordinate my own calendar and schedule. And it was real fun because I had gotten a chance to teach at some of the world's, you know, most respected universities for like a summer camp in Switzerland and in Germany and all over, and I'd go for a week or two and be like a teacher there. So I did that, and I was also at that time doing a lot of motivational speaking. Now that I remember, I've always, throughout my whole career, even from the very beginning of the New Edition days, I would always speak at schools and at churches and at colleges. So I was always developing simultaneously my music thing, but also my communicator gift. Speaking and encouraging and rallying and teaching, they always went side by side. But when I was finally done with Frankie Valli, I was able to concentrate on really developing those things without having to worry about another agenda, without checking on somebody else's calendar. Come on, give it. Give it. Give it. Well, it was everything. I believe it was sort of like God's timing for us to come back together. And it's funny because I had a dream, like a physical dream. I hadn't talked to Lenny in a couple of years, which was rare, you know, that we wouldn't talk more frequently. But, you know, just we got busy, and you get busy with life, and you're out doing your new thing. And I always thought about him, and he told me that he always thought about me. But one night I had a dream, and the dream was very vivid. In the dream, we were playing together again. And in the dream, it was like the old days, but like better. All I remember was just this feeling of like, man, this is awesome. We're back together, we're having a great time. And I woke up the next morning and I told my wife, Renee, I said, I had this crazy dream. It was like this long, intense dream with Lenny and I, and we were like back together, and it was just the most bizarre thing. Later that afternoon, he called. And I got goosebumps when he called because it was like this weird feeling like, my gosh, I haven't talked to you in 2 years, and last night I have this intense dream about you. And then he said, he goes, it's crazy. Last night, I watched your videos. I was on vacation in the Bahamas, and see, during the Frankie era, the very end of it, Lenny called me, and I actually went back to play with him again because the drummer who was playing with him injured her hand, and so on a moment's notice he called me, and I had to learn the whole show in one rehearsal, and I played the end of the tour with him. And so we had that stint, and at that time I had given him the book, and I had given him the copies of my videos. And apparently he looked and read the book, but he kept the videos, and they just went down to the Bahamas, and he had never gotten a chance to open them. So the night that I had the dream about him, he was in the Bahamas vacationing and fasting and just chilling out by himself on the beach. And he said, I got so bored, I had seen everything, and I found your videos at the top of my trailer, and I said, I got to watch these Zoro videos. I totally had forgotten about him because I got to see what my bro's doing on the videos. And so he literally was watching all 3 of those videos for 3 hours from top to bottom. And when he talked to me, he said, man, the same time you were dreaming about me, I was watching your videos. So I just call it a divine appointment from God. God was reuniting us in a spiritual realm that neither of us could know. And then he called me and said, you know, man, I've been thinking about you, and you know, I'm going to get ready to do another tour, and I just want to see how you feel about, would you be interested in playing with me again or joining me again? And I said, man, let me pray about that. You know, I'll see if that's what God wants me to do, because I always sort of prayed about everything to see if this is where I'm supposed to. I don't want to just do anything just to do it. I want to know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And anyway, and he flew me out to Miami, and we prayed about it before we went and played, and I said, you know, God, if this is something you want to happen, then let us just feel that magic that we always had. Let us feel that something special when we play the music that we just know. And man, we played, and it was there. And afterwards, he was like, I don't know about you, man, but I'd love for you to come back. I'm like, yeah, I'm there. And so that's what started the whole baptism tour. And we rehearsed for 3 or 4 months in Miami at his house, and it was everything. It turned out to be everything in that dream and much more. It was the best, one of the best seasons of my life, because now we're older, now we're more mature, now we're more seasoned. We had gone through a lot of things as friends, and now we're at a place where, man, this is cool. This is really cool. All the young stuff is behind us, all the young teenage ambition stuff, and now we're just who we are, and we're just gonna play music and chill. It was a great time. With us, it's always just, it's when it's ordained. You know, it's a friendship thing, and it's when it's supposed to be right. And when I finished the baptism thing, we'd actually gotten involved in some other projects together as a result of that, outside of music, that were more ministry things that were led out of that. So we'd done some really great things around the world together that had nothing to do with music, but that had to do with people and building people and saving people from tragedies. And I went on a trip to Ghana, Africa, and helped slave kids get released. And something that we both had a heart for, that he helped spearhead and I ran. You know, so what led me out of all that was just other divine things that God had for us. But yeah, at some point, yeah, you know, when the timing is right and when the season is right, you know, it'll hook up again.